How are you?
Fantastic. How
Good,
are you?
good.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. So, first of all, I wanted to ask you, what do you think each of your characters represent in Elle's world and
Mm,
in her growth throughout the TV show?
Oh,
mm, great question. I mean, well, at least when you first meet Miles, he's sort of the first person who's nice to Elle in Seattle, and I think that is sort of the basis of their friendship. But I think there's also something that sort of clicks for Miles, where he's very taken with her. He's very charmed by her, and I think there's something happening on a deeper level where he sort of realizes in her maybe a better version of himself that could be realized. And I think that he's trying to untangle that for the rest of the season. Yeah.
I think for Dustin, I'd say, I mean, what he really represents in Elle's world is kind of, I suppose in a lot of ways, he's kind of representative of the wider change that's going on in her life, and he's representative of a possible reaction to that change, because he's always pushing her to be more honest with herself. He's always pushing her to kind of be the boldest version of herself that she can be and to use her voice wherever she can, which I feel like is kind of really important in her journey to becoming the character that we meet in the movie. And so he kind of represents that. He also represents this idea that you can't always trust adults and authority figures to have your best interests at heart or to kind of even want to do the right thing at all. And so, and in that respect, he kind of not only contrasts kind of what Miles represents,
Yeah.
but then he also kind of creates a really lovely bridge to the character that we meet in the movie.
Mm.
Yeah, and before working in the TV show, were you already familiar with or a fan of Legally Blonde? Did you feel any pressure or admiration about stepping into such a beloved, iconic world?
I think absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
There was pressure, there was some fear. But I think everything that everyone did on the show was to honor what that original film did. And we've been saying like we don't remember the first time that we actually saw the film. We just always remember having seen it.
Mm.
And I think that's really true. It's one of those movies that just sort of lives um, you know, indelibly like in the culture at large. And like I think my mom and sister were a huge fan of the film, so when I told them about the job, they were just so excited. And I think yeah, I think we've all just done our best to honor that film.
I also can't help but say that, like, even though it does feel like there's a certain pressure stepping into a kind of source material like this, we also both had characters that have only ever existed inside of the show,
Yeah.
where like there wasn't really an idea of them existing outside. Whereas the professional pressure on Lexi's shoulders was so much more massive because she was bringing this iconic character to life,
Right,
and
yeah.
and that was kind of the real pressure, and she's handled it so masterfully and so well, and still brought herself to the character in a way that makes it feel fresh, but then also feels indelibly like the character that we've met before. And so in comparison to all of that, we're just kind of
Yeah, no, and people were
kind of
watching.
proud.
People were like, "Did you watch the film? Like, how many times did you watch the film?" I was like, I mean, a couple times
Yeah,
to prepare
yeah.
for but
Sure.
ultimately, like, my job was to not have anything to do with that film, because we were bringing such a different we were meant to be the water that the fish was out of, I guess. So
Or at least the new water that the
the new
fish
water
ends
that
up
the fish
finding
would find
themselves.
or the air, I guess.
The air, yeah, where the air.
The air,
Exactly,
yes.
that's what we
Is
are.
the fish out
And in
of
the
water.
task of being air, we have
Yes.
truly
Yeah,
excelled ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. And since Miles and Dustin end up being like two different love interests for Elle, in a sense, how did you build the dynamic and the competition between you two?
I mean, we actually love working together, so it's like, and we never get to.
Yeah,
We're sort of like we're on
true.
separate paths with
And
her,
and in
so.
the few moments that we do get to, it's either kind of in wider group scenes where there
Yeah.
isn't much of a dynamic
We
between
just sort of
the
shrug and
individual,
roll our eyes at each
or we
other.
just exactly, or we're kind of showing and rolling and just kind of giving each other just kind of weird.
Yeah. There's weird energy. Yeah, it's mostly an energetic process that we demonstrate our
Wasn't a lot of conversation there.
territorialism.
What is that
Yeah.
place?
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, guys. It was
Thank
nice
you
to
so
meet
much.
you, and congrats for the show. It's really great.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Bye.